Here we are, halfway through our election process. Should we shorten this up? Should we limit the number of people that a party can put up? Or is it anybody and everybody who wants to jump in can jump in? Phone number is 866-859-2788. There's Bobby in Los Angeles, the world's greatest talk show caller. There, I beat you to it. Hello, Bobby.
Thank you. Thank you. By the way, John Gibson gets annoyed when I do that, and he banned me from doing that. And Alan Combs doesn't like it, but he still takes my calls. So does John Gibson, actually.
Yeah, I know. I'll talk to him.
Okay, anyway, a long time ago, in the ancient days of a year named 2004, I remember on the land of talk radio, I didn't play your program back then, I apologize, many people would call in and say, I am sick and tired of this process. I want my popular vote instead of the electoral process that we have now. I am sick and tired of the Democrats and Republicans because both sides are the same.
Yeah.
There's no difference.
Yeah.
And I am sick and tired of all the leaders we're electing. And now, fast forward, it is now 2016, which can you believe? It's already been 12 years, by the way. In 2016, the same ridiculous, nutty thing is happening.
I'll see your 2004 and raise you back to 2000 with the Bush-Gore, because Al Gore got more popular votes than George Bush. He should have been president. This year, for some reason, Bobby, the game playing that goes on within the parties and the state parties and the rules of who a delegate is and all that, I think has been brought forward more openly than I've ever seen it before. And personally, I looked at it for the first time in a long time on the primary season and went, oh, I don't like this. I like one man, one vote.
Okay, so I don't know if that's true or not. You say it's more open. I take your word for it. But you do understand that people are still whining and complaining. As you pointed out earlier, the right might not even accept Donald Trump. The left, obviously, a lot of them wanted Bernie Sanders. So if anyone is to be blamed, I can't even blame the parties anymore, even though I don't chain myself to any party. And I'll never understand why anyone, unless they were personally helped by the party, would chain themselves to a party. The people that I blame...
Well, Bernie did. Bernie is not a Democrat. He's an independent, but he chained himself to the Democrat Party so he would have a stage. Gary Johnson did not chain himself to the Republican Party, and he's off with a very small following.
And Dr. Ron Paul, the most consistent conservative, didn't chain himself to the Republican Party. And you're proving my point. If you're having the option to have people who are not supposedly the same type of politicians as others, and they're different and they're unique, and they don't chain yourself to a particular party, why do the people in this amazing country, which I love, continue this ridiculous trend of supporting either side?
I'll tell you why. One
thing, Tom. If they must do it, if whatever reason you're going to give me, if they're going to do it anyway, then can they stop complaining about either side in the process? They're the ones supporting it. They're the ones defeating it.
But there's an emotional. It's an emotional reason, and the reason is simply my mother and father voted that way. They were fill in the blank. I'm the odd man. My parents were Democrats. I wound up being a Republican, and now I'm an independent. But most people will vote for whatever mom and dad were. They were dyed-in-the-wool Democrats, and so am I.
Not everyone here is a fourth, fifth, sixth generation in America. There's lots of first generations, as myself, in America, and they're continuing the same process too. This is the first time I've ever heard that people are continuing to support this process because mommy and daddy supported it?
Well, no, I firmly believe it. I'll tell you, Matt and I were talking earlier today about this, and since we are both Yankees fans, and Josh...
I'm a Dodgers fan, by the way.
See, there you go. And Josh is a what's the name of that metropolitan team that you... New York Mets? World, well, I mean... They did go to the World Series last year. I got to get that. But here's
the greatest rivalry in baseball is Dodgers and Yankees, and it's been killed by Major League Baseball. Just so you know.
I know. But the point is, people support the Yankees regardless of the team that they are dealt with. The Yankees are not good this year, but that doesn't mean that Yankees fans will all of a sudden become Dodgers fans. They won't.
This is different. When George Steinbrenner ran the Yankees, America didn't have to worry about his policies towards the country or what laws were being passed, who the politicians were. When Alex Rodriguez took steroids, nobody really cared about how it affected the country unless it affected.
I know, but it's that same emotional part of the brain where people align themselves with something emotionally, and that is it. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. I'm a Yankees fan. I'm a Dodgers fan. You can't talk me out of it. I'm not going to change no matter how bad the candidates, no matter how bad the players.
It's not the same thing to compare it to sporting teams.
Yes, it is.
It's not the same thing. No, it's not. Because when I'm a Dodgers fan and a Lakers fan, which, by the way, the greatest teams in the history of American sports, but it doesn't affect American policy. These are just fun stuff. It's fun times. When Bernie Sanders, Ron Paul, Hilary Clinton, George Bush get into power.
I understand.
And again, somebody's going to call in when I'm done, as I am the greatest caller. Someone's going to call in and say, this guy Bobby is wrong. I support this side because this side does a good job. But then these are, again, the same people who complain about the system. Pick a side. Either stop complaining about the system or accept the system and stop voting.
Yeah, but this time you picked your side. The Republicans picked their side, and I've got a whole pile of Republicans that are whining about the fact that they don't want Trump. Supposedly the primary season is over. Is it? Is it done? Or is there going to be upheaval at the Republican convention?
I mean, from what Paul Ryan and all these other guys on the radio are saying, I go by talk radio a lot, there seems to be a lot of genuinely unhappy Republicans with Trump, just like there's a lot of genuinely unhappy Democrats with Hillary. And this goes to the other point I want to bring up. Why not just have a popular vote? Why not have a popular vote for everything? In a country that prides itself on freedom and live and let live, there sure are a lot of restrictions in this country.
I'm becoming an advocate of the popular vote too. So.
Everything that's voted, even laws, everything should be a popular vote. If you want to have an answer, we should have a percentage of who wins. 60% vote wins, 70% vote wins. Okay, that I respect. But everything should be done on the popular vote. And when you do that, you'll have more younger people who feel like voting because they say my vote counts. Tom, have never voted in my life because I know in California, what is the point in voting for president? They don't go by the popular vote. Everything should be done on a popular vote. You agree, right?
I'm with you on this one. I'm with you. Okay. All right.
And would you also agree that Dodgers and Lakers are the greatest franchises in all of sports?
Well, no, because as much as I'm not going to do a sports talk show, Bobby. I had a relative that was a Dodger, Steve Garvey. Yeah, so, Matt's typing up a little note to me. 27 World Championships, Yankees. Bobby, I appreciate your call. Let's get Byron in here from Casa Grande, Arizona. Hi, Byron.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
What an honor. I never believe it.
Well, thank you.
So, I listened to you and Bob just a second ago there. I think he's on the right track, more or less, and the whole thing is convoluted, and he is wrong about this. America does take the Democratic Republican thing this is a game to America. It's my side's better than your side.
Mm-hmm.
The Yankees will kick the Dodgers' butts. The whole thing is fine as long as it's taken in the light that it should be taken in.
Are you happy with now that we've had a fresh 6 months of this? Are you okay with the system, and are you okay with how it turned out?
No, the system's corrupt, and the reason is take Arizona for instance, my home state. It really doesn't matter how Arizona votes. We don't have enough representatives to influence the presidential election.